Everyone knows the frozen north is not welcoming, but now we can understand it with our own eyes.
Like, comment and subscribe for more. Now let's continue.
Chapter 5. Emberfall. My first view of Emberfall March was disappointing enough to make even loyal men hesitate. Flat land stretched under dirty snow. The grass was dead. The river lay half choked by ice. The wind moved over the open ground without mercy. In the distance, black hills rose like broken teeth against the sky. One southern knight muttered that we had marched all this way to claim a grave. On the surface, he was right. Beneath the surface was my future. I gave orders immediately. Tents near the river, woodcutting teams toward the forest, soldiers to clear a training ground, craftsmen to inspect usable timber, hunters to scout the perimeter. Everyone had a task before disappointment could become despair. Over the next few days, I walked the territory myself. At the southern edge, steam rose from cracks in the earth where snow had melted into dark mud. I crouched, pressed my palm to the ground, and felt warmth. The geothermal vents were exactly where the system had placed them. In a land where winter killed as often as swords, underground heat was priceless. Nearby, we found natural hot springs steaming beneath low stone shelves. I decided my future manor would be built close enough to use them. If I had to be exiled to a frozen border, I would at least bathe warmly. The river showed promise as well. Birds had already gathered along the thinner ice, diving for small fish. In spring, the water would fill with migrations. If managed properly, it could feed us. The hills were better still. Scouts found cold iron in exposed stone. Deeper inside, hidden veins of etherstone glowed dark red in the cracks. The men nearly lost their minds when they saw it. I pretended to be surprised and calm at the same time. I was calm because I knew there was something even more important waiting deeper: ember marrow. I was also calm because we were not strong enough to mine and protect it yet. Treasure you cannot defend is bait for stronger enemies. The hardest place to visit was the old native settlement. It sat in a hollow where the wind pooled and the ground stank of rot. Crooked shacks leaned beneath patched roofs. Children watched from doorways with eyes too large for their faces. Most of the people were elderly, widowed, sick, or too young to fend for themselves. The previous overseer had fled and left them to die. I took dry food from my pouch and offered it to two children. They stared at it, too afraid to move. When they finally grabbed the food, one boy ate like he feared the bread would vanish. The smaller child tucked his piece inside his coat. "Why not eat?" I asked. His voice shook.
"For my mother."
Something tightened in my chest. In the south, noble dogs ate better than these children. I stood and called to the settlement. "Anyone willing to work may come to my camp. You will receive food and shelter." They did not cheer. They did not trust me. I did not blame them. But hunger makes its own decisions. By evening, they began arriving with bundles, sick relatives, and frightened children. I chose the first building site on a low hill near the geothermal vents. The ground there was warmer, and the hill broke the worst of the wind. Oren, my chief craftsman, asked whether we should begin with a lord's hall. "No," I said. "Homes first." He blinked. "And where will you sleep, my lord?" "With everyone else, until everyone has a roof." He looked at me as though I had spoken another language. The houses I designed borrowed from both worlds, northern pit homes and the longhouses I remembered from Earth. Each building was dug partly below ground to trap heat. Wooden frames were woven with willow, packed with straw, mud and clay, then roofed with thick grass and soil. They looked like low hills from the outside, but inside they were warm, dry and fast to build. Oren thought I was a natural architect. I let him believe it. Teams of 20 worked together. 2 soldiers, 18 slaves or refugees, 1 craftsman supervising. The ground fought every shovel. Fingers blistered. Breath froze on scarves. I made a habit of moving from site to site with a shovel in my own hands. I dug for 10 minutes, corrected work, praised a frame, promised hot soup, then moved on. I was not pretending to be a labourer. I was showing them I was not above the dirt. That mattered. In a few days, the first houses were finished. They were plain, half-buried, and beautiful in the way survival is beautiful. Children slept indoors. Elderly people stopped coughing through the night. Mothers wept quietly beside warm walls. A settlement was more than buildings, though. A settlement needed a heart. So I ordered a celebration.